Aha, a break in the weather. It's cloudy with a bit of sunshine, but extremely wet underfoot. But that ain't going to stop me today. Right, we'll have a quick look round, get a damage report after Storm Borough. It's not too bad. What I did notice this morning when I came into the plot is the flowers on this beautiful rock plant. Really nice, very early. Hopefully it'll last through the more difficult weather we've got to come. So, as you can see, it's pretty wet, but I can hop round that, I think. So, as predicted, this net came down and this little bed is going to be needing a lot of attention. Not sure whether that's on my agenda today or not. Still ignoring the overrun bed, and both of these are heading for some sort of membrane on them, I think. We've got a fallen kale, so I can see if I can prop that one back up, and my other propped up plants are the purple sprouting broccoli, and we've got one that's leaning over there, so we'll have a look at that. Otherwise, pretty much okay. The chickens fared well in their coop, no problems. And down here, no doubt, some of the clutter that I've got has fallen around. Not too bad. Hopefully, I might get to cracking this today if I can get the last of that compost out. Well, it's mighty wet in here, but it's not going to stop me. This is the beginning of the end of compost in this area and sifting couch grass from compost. So I'm going to work my way through this. You've seen it many times, so I'll speed it up and then hopefully we'll be out of this area with compost, and then I'll be able to get in with all that clutter, get myself organised, and I'll be able to see my way clear to the next steps then, which will be fantastic. And there's going to be plenty of couch grass in here as I go. And I'm going to crack myself right now. It's bindweed. Yes, I'm done. Well, I vaguely remember back when I started in that corner saying I always have bindweed in my compost and I'm pretty used to getting rid of it, so if you're worried about it, don't worry, I've got it controlled. Oh, so not true. Getting into that corner was, well, the worst. It seems to all emanate from that corner. But I'm out of it now. I've cleared this compost of bindweed. I've got a barrow load to move. And I think I'm just going to move this into its appropriate places now. And I'll be ready for getting into here with all that clutter. Good times. I'm going to take the easy option here and bring this compost the shortest distance to this bed, just because it's a bit wet underfoot and it's a bit heavy to push, to be honest. I need to get myself a trowel just to get rid of the few weeds. There's no point making it harder than necessary. So we'll get these out and then get it onto this runner bean bed, because this year I'll be growing runner beans in the same place. I've done it before, but this time I think I might be here for a while, because I'm going to try and keep these poles in place rather than rebuild them. And I'm hoping that the no-dig theory of repeated growing in the same area is going to come to fruition in this space. Right, I think we're ready. I think that was a good decision because this soil is pretty darn heavy. In fact, I think I'm going to have a bit of a run to get over that lip. I'll give it a bit of a helping hand as well. Right, that's the target. Ooh, that was easy. Right, in it goes. Okay, I'm going to empty that pile of compost I've just cleared into this area. Should take me 20 minutes, I reckon. Well, that's barrow number 4. I'm going to spread that now and just see how far it goes. With a bit of luck, that will be what's required on here. And then I've got possibly one more. And then I think I'll put a couple on the leeks. And that will have got me pretty well sorted in the middle here until we eat a few more leeks. And that's never a chore. Right. I will find little bits of bindweed in here as I sort it out and spread it, but when I've done that, I'm pretty used to it being pretty clear at that point, and any that get growing come out fairly easily. Right. There we are, one more. Get that in there. Okay, a little bit more raking and we should be done on the runner bean bed. I'm keeping it all fairly tight to the poles. As it dries out, it will spread down a little bit, and that gives me a chance to get these paths clear at some point in the near future. There we are, nice and thick down this end because it was a little bit on the skimpy side during the runner bean season. Get over there. Okay, we're done on the beans. Now what I am going to do is just clear this area because I can use this as another interim place to put compost whilst I'm waiting for the crops to diminish. And I need to stand that one up. It's actually got a cord on it. Must have blown off. So that's going to be an easy fix. There we go. Now I'll get my trowel and get these weeds out. And then I think a couple of barrows in there. And probably a couple of barrows in amongst the kale. And then they'll carry on growing and I can spread that when I get the kale out. Okay, let's get on. Well, this is definitely the physical time for no dig, and moving and sorting all this compost certainly gets the heart, well, beating. Right, I guess that's good for us though. Let's get this wheelbarrow out of the way and we'll get that spread around. And the robin has been helping me all morning to thin out the worms in this, which it takes great pleasure in doing, and I don't mind. So good on you, Mr. Robin, or Mrs. Robin. Okay, there's probably quite a bit more than I need here, so that's okay. I can move it around if I have to later on. As it dries out, it becomes very much more manageable. Right, let's drag that this way. And I might just leave that pile in a pile. There we go. Yeah, way too much. So I'll leave that there, and that can help when I get to covering the parsnips. But it's good to get it moved into approximately the right place. Well, we've got a bit of sun and a bit of rain now, but we're getting on fine. If you ever wonder what my camera equipment looks like after I've done a session in the mud, take a look at this. And the camera's not looking much better, really. My tripod, my Poro tripod, which is a bit broken these days, is also covered in mud. It's certainly not a clean pastime doing this, but hey, let's go and take a look at the area that's been cleared. I didn't really think I'd get on quite as well today as I have, but I've taken out pretty much everything that I think's of use. In fact, I started to create a bit of a dip, so I thought I'd better stop. I'll move some of this back before I move things in there. That won't take long. And I've still got a little bit of decent compost which I can add into the new area. And that, my friends, hopefully will be the end of separating bindweed from compost. And moving it onto the plot is the bit that I didn't really expect to get done quite so well. But I've got a good section of the leeks done. All of the runner bean area nicely laid out, and the kale right up to here, and I'll soon be having these parsnips out and I can work my way back a bit further. So the winter work is coming on. There's always quite a lot to do this time of the year with spreading compost, and my next job is going to be this bed, not to spread compost but just to take out these first flush of weeds that I can see. Mr. Mole has been helping himself and adding a bit of soil to the bed, that's fine. But I want to get this first flush of weeds off of this bed. I'm not going to be adding compost to it just yet, but it is important to keep control of them before they become a bigger job. Well, that really isn't too much effort and just keeps on top of it, and it means that when the growing season does start, the amount of effort to get things underway is minimal, which is always good because we all get excited about sowing seeds and planting plants. And this year I've got to get my head around evicting the silkies from the polytunnel. I can see that might be a challenging conversation with Mrs. K, and she watches all these videos, so she'll hear that. You know, just preparation. Sowing the seeds in her mind. So I don't think I'm going to get everything moved today into the old compost area, but I'm going to move a few things just so I can say I've started. So, I don't know. Maybe these green barrels and maybe that bag. I'll get a few things in there and see how much space they take. I've got to make sure that I leave enough room for the big container. That'll probably be the main thing to get in there, but not today. I'm not going to use these composters for storing compost in here. That would be pointless, because the couch grass will undoubtedly grow up from the bottom. If you're wondering what the carpet is on this one, having a bit of carpet around your composters just keeps the warmth in, and that can be really helpful for maintaining worm activity. So I learnt that off another YouTuber. Great community. It does add quite a lot of weight to them though, so bear that in mind if you're going to give it a go. Right, one lid on top of that. I don't know whether this will live safely on there, probably not, but it's going to stay there for now, and it's getting a bit like a quagmire in here. So one more thing, a bag of bags. These builders bags, I have used them in the past, but I'm beginning to think they need to go back to the builders merchants. Right, I think that's me done for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you did, click on the like and the subscribe, and why not ding that bell, and then you'll get my notifications of uploads on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 p.m. I do hope you have a good week. Diolch yn fawr.